Right. And we're here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Two Metalheads. We're back. You're back. We're all back. Back in the saddle again,
You want to
like
know?
Aerosmith.
Want to know something that once I tell you, you won't be able to unsee it. And it
What's
annoys me.
that?
It annoys me because I see it.
What's that?
I never noticed it, but doing this show, I looks like I only talk out of like this side of my mouth, but like I had a stroke or something at one point.
Oh shit!
I
What's
did.
it? Just the lighting in there?
No, I guess it's just the way I talk. I tend to. I
Talk
guess.
out of the side of your mouth like fucking Popeye.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't tell.
Skibbity
I,
skibbity
I watch.
skibbity.
I watch myself do it. And I'm like, why the fuck are you talking like that? But I can't.
You got fucking stroke face.
I do.
Stroke me, stroke me, stroke, stroke.
I don't know why I do that. I just literally thought of that. Now I can't unsee it. you know?
Well, at least you're not fat Brett Michaels.
Yeah. No.
Even though, again, I'll take that. Fine. I'm sure I do lots of annoying shit. I know the drunker I get, the more I fucking pull my bandana down.
Yeah. I've had to pee. I've had to pull over on the side of the road a lot of times for you to pee.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Coming back from fucking blood obsession practice.
Yeah. And other things.
And other.
All right. So, what do we got for today?
So for today, a little bit of news in the anthrax world. So there's been some fucking weird shit going on with anthrax lately. So you've got Charlie is playing drums in Pantera. You've got Scott is playing been playing guitar in Mr. Bungle.
Oh yeah.
Um, John Denius, Shadows Fall is pretty much back again,
Hmm.
right? They're active. I noticed last week that Joey Belladonna has started a new Dio tribute thing, which is apparently going to be touring.
Doesn't he already do a Journey one?
He does the Journey one. I don't know if maybe he's stopping the Journey one. I don't know how the reception was to that. Maybe he wasn't selling the tickets he wanted to sell. I think being who he is, he'd probably sell a lot more tickets for a Dio tribute, being that he's a metal singer.
You would assume he's doing that because he wants to.
Or maybe he needs to.
I don't know.
Maybe he needs the fucking income. But apparently he's got this just announced like last week or the week before, this new Dio tribute thing that he's doing, that he's going to be doing Rainbow, Sabbath, and Dio stuff live.
Hmm.
Now, I'd say a few weeks to maybe 2 months ago, Frank Bello pulled out of a tour where Anthrax was supposed to be playing South America, and he pulled out of that tour for quote unquote personal reasons, and they got Dan Lilker back, who
Yeah.
was the original bass player. But as of yesterday, it's been announced that Frank Bello is going to be touring with Satyricon
Yeah, I saw that too.
throughout the whole summer as their bass player. That's a little fucking weird. Like is there something to read into it? Is there trouble in Anthrax world? Is there beefing because Charlie's doing the Pantera thing?
Is there? Well, haven't they had drummers step in for Charlie before?
They have had drummers sit in for Charlie for certain dates. I know a lot of it was Canadian dates. When I saw Slayer on their retirement tour, Anthrax was an opener on that. And there were a couple nights on that tour where Gene Hoglan played drums for Anthrax and Testament in the same night.
Hmm.
But then the shows in the States, Charlie played in the States. So when I saw them in Connecticut, Charlie was the drummer. Now, allegedly, I don't know this. I don't know Charlie. I don't know his ex-wife or whatever. But apparently, there's a domestic violence thing when it comes to him. And maybe that's why he can't get into Canada.
I heard the same thing. I don't know if it's true, but I heard the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's part of that.
Well, my whole thought was that maybe because he's busy with Pantera, the rest of the guys decided to do other
To go
stuff.
get busy.
But they've also had guys step in for him before, so I don't know.
Right. Now, back in, I think it was 2021, I remember reading an article on Blabbermouth where Scott Ian said there's a done Anthrax album. It's in the can, it's ready to go, but they didn't want to release it until it was time to tour. Right? Because at that time, nobody was fucking playing live. Not even local bands were playing live.
Yeah.
Now, let's say fucking 3 years have gone by since that article came out, and they're still talking about, yeah, we're writing stuff, it's not done yet. And it's all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, what happened to the album that was in the can? Did they decide that those songs sucked and it wasn't good enough? And they're starting something new? But then again, there's all these question marks that everybody in the band is doing something now. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It hit me weird yesterday when I saw Frank Bello playing bass for Satyricon, but he just stepped away from an Anthrax tour. It's fucking odd.
Maybe they need a guitar player and a bass player.
Maybe they do.
And a drummer.
Maybe they do.
Yeah.
So that's something to ponder.
Yeah,
You know,
well, I guess we'll figure it out eventually, but
seems like there's a lot of weird shit going on in their world.
I mean, they're at an age where maybe they want to do other stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the Joey Belladonna thing is more out of like, yeah, of course it's a labor of love because he loves Dio, but I also think too Joey needs fucking money, man. Like, yeah, I don't think Joey makes the kind of money that, let's be honest, Scott and Charlie are Anthrax.
Well, some of it depends, and I don't want to get too boring with the explanation, but
Right.
if Joey wrote the lyrics for a lot of those songs that they continuously play,
Yeah.
he would get a licensing and songwriting check every quarter.
Okay.
I don't know. In order for him to get that, they'd have to be touring, though. So
Right. Yeah, they'd have to be playing live,
yeah.
and
So
they're not currently doing that.
well, I'm just saying, like, even when he wasn't in Anthrax, if he did write the lyrics to those songs, he was getting a check every time they played them.
Right, like when John Bush was singing those tracks, Joey was still making a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they do their licensing or have somebody who does it for them, all the venues, the big venues are supposed to pay licensing fees. You hand in your set list, it gets sent in, and the group, whatever your company is, gets a check.
Right.
So if he did write them, should have gotten it. That's why a lot of these guys that aren't in bands anymore, you're like, oh man, what could they possibly be doing? But like the bands are humongous, and they're still getting paid if they wrote the music. There's not,
Right, yeah.
not as much because they're not doing the shows, but they're still getting a check.
Sure.
You know.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but it would just be boring technical BS
Right.
nobody cares
Yeah.
about.
Insider music industry stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a interesting development to see unfold. What the fuck is going on with Anthrax?
Yeah, I saw the Frank fellow one today, and I was like, I thought he was taking off from Anthrax, but I don't really keep up with Anthrax that much.
Right.
So I was like, I guess they're not doing anything right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's just odd.
yeah. Eh, oh well. I'm sure
Stay with me.
they'll be back around.
Speaking of thrash metal bands,
Yes.
have you listened to the new Kerry King album? If I can
Yes.
get some light on it. Check that out.
Let me see, we talked about it last week, which whenever this comes out, I don't know, the week before. And I put it on. I have a gym in my house. So I went 5 days a week. I go down there and I work out. The day after we recorded, I went downstairs. I was like, all right, I'll put it on. I went to YouTube because they have all the songs out.
Right.
And I put it on, and then I bought it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I liked it.
What are some of your favorite tracks?
I wasn't looking at the titles that much because I was working out, but I do remember. Or let me see. I bought it. Like I didn't even listen to the whole thing before I bought it. I was like, I like this. I'm gonna get this. Yeah, Crucifixion. This is sixth song. I think I like that one a lot.
Yeah, Crucifixation's a great one.
Yeah.
I like Residue a lot. I think that's a fucking great track. There's a great breakdown in that fucking song.
I didn't really feel like there were any duds. They were all pretty good.
Yeah, there's no track where I'm like, meh.
Even the intro track was like,
It's cool.
all right, this is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Unlike Slayer, because Slayer had that noise lead kind of thing, which was their sound. And I'm not saying there was nothing wrong with it, but this is more like lead guitar instead of noise. It's instead of doing like the noisy solos. It's real like I like the lead work. It was good.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of that is due to Phil Demmel.
Yeah,
so
I know
the fucking group, it's a super group, really. So you got Kerry King on guitar, Paul Bostaff on drums, Phil Demmel, who you would know from Machine Head, and he was also in Violence back in the day. And he's also been like a really famous fill-in guy in recent years too.
I forgot who, but yeah, I know he was in something else.
He filled in for Overkill. He filled in for Lamb of God. He filled in for Slayer.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then you got Mark Asaguida, I think that's how you say his last name, from Death Angel on vocals. And then your bass player is Kyle Sanders, who was in Hell Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's also the brother of Troy Sanders, who's the bass player and singer in Mastodon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's an odd one.
Right. He's kind of the odd guy out, sort of.
But I mean, it's cool. You know, like it's cool that they got somebody like that. A lot of people probably wouldn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole band. If you're a metalhead, you know all those dudes.
Yeah.
You know.
He's the only one that I don't really know. Yeah.
It's been like since the first single got released, which is Idle Hands. It's been like really a fucking divisive kind of release because a lot of dudes on my fucking friends list on social media, this is fucking lame. It sounds like Diet Slayer. It sounds like throwaway tracks from the last that fucking Slayer record. Oh, look how unfucking original it is. Mark sounds just like he's doing an impersonation of Tom Araya. This is fucking lame. I don't want shit to do with this. I'd rather listen to X, Y, and Z black metal band that 7 people know about.
This is
And you know,
exactly what I
half
wanted to
those
talk about.
motherfuckers went and bought this when the record came out.
Of course.
And now they're all going back on it and going, oh, you know, it's actually pretty fucking good because the kind sounds like Slayer, but it doesn't really sound like Slayer. But it's got Phil Demmel in it. Yeah, we know. It's fucking fine. There's
Well,
nothing wrong with it.
there was
It's okay,
this is exactly what I wanted to get into because I heard the same bullshit.
right?
And okay, for one, it's Kerry King and Paul Bostoff. Of
Yeah,
course, it's gonna sound kind of like Slayer.
yeah, it
You
is.
know, like of course it is.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
can't help that.
you can't help that. The guy wrote for Slayer since the '80s.
Yeah, since
He has
1981.
he has a sound. Anything else he's gonna do is going to at least sound kind of like that. You know,
Right.
there's no getting around it. And Paul Bostoff, honestly, you can't go wrong with him.
No, you can't.
You know, like of course he picked him to play drums.
Right.
Like there's not a whole lot of other guys that I would pick.
Yeah.
Like what do you got? Gene Hoglan?
Hoagland or Lombardo.
Yeah. Or
And it seems
Lombardo.
like Lombardo can't stay in the band anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is, but I I, I mean I over the Lombardo Bostoff thing, I always like Bostoff better.
Me too.
For Slayer.
Yeah,
The
me
Dave
too.
Lombardo did in Testament, that was fucking awesome.
Yes.
Gathering,
Gathering.
that was
Dude. Oh,
incredible. I
yeah.
don't. I was like, oh, this is what I think of when I think of Dave Lombardo.
Yep.
Although, like a lot of the stuff you hear from him from Slayer was in the '80s when they weren't using a ton of double bass or anything yet. You know,
Sure. Yeah.
so
I mean, Rain and Blood that's really just a fast album,
yeah,
but I personally me and Ty argue about this a lot. I like Paul Bostaff's handwork better, but then I like Lombardo's footwork better.
in Slayer though,
Yes. I like Lombardo's footwork a little bit better because I feel like his feet are a little more steady. But I like Bostaff's fills. His fills are tasty,
I
man.
mean, God hates us all. I mean, that double bass in that is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I'm not saying Bostaff's double bass stinks.
Oh yeah,
I
no.
just like Lombardo's feet a little better. I feel like his feet are just a little steadier, and he comes up with different double bass patterns that kind of, to me, catch my ear and stand out a little more. But it's splitting hairs at that
Yeah.
point,
I
you
mean,
know.
all of the classic albums, of course, had Lombardo on them, but like
Right.
first album I got was Divine Intervention.
And that's the first one with Bostaff.
Yeah, I mean, because was it the '90s? That was when I was getting into metal, other than Metallica and Megadeth. You know, like
Right. Yeah.
I was
And
still,
that's a big Slayer record.
yeah, and I was young, and that album was awesome. You know,
Absolutely.
and I feel like the Kerry King album, like Slayer started going heavier and heavier, but not necessarily as aggressive as they were. But I feel like
Right.
Kerry King went back to being aggressive in this album,
I agree.
which I like. You know,
I agree. I agree. And there's more punky elements in this one too. Like Two Fists is
yeah,
a very punky kind of fucking song, and so is Shrapnel. And even Crucifixation has got like some kind of fucking punk rock elements to it too. You
yeah.
know?
Mm.
Standout tracks for me are Residue, and I love the title track, last song on the album, From Hell I Rise. and Toxic. I really like Toxic because not only are the fucking riffs badass, I love the lyrics in that chorus. Too many people spend too much time forcing their opinions on other people's lives. That's a great chorus, man. And it's fucking true. It's so
Yeah.
true. That's good shit. That's fucking good shit.
And,
I
and
like this album a lot.
well, and the other complaint I heard a lot of was that Mark is doing an impression of Tom.
Right.
But how many so when Slayer came out, the thrash metal bands weren't really screaming at that point. But nowadays, that is thrash metal vocals.
Right.
Anybody who's doing modern thrash metal is going to be screaming, and you're going to be screaming over something that sounds kind of like Slayer. You're going to think that. But if you put that on and didn't tell me who it was, I would go, this sounds kind of like Slayer, but I know it's not because
Right.
it's not Tom singing. I know it's not.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you
And
don't
that's the
have to tell
thing.
me that it
Yeah.
wasn't him. I knew it wasn't him. But
Right.
and that's not a knock on him. He sounded great. You know.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no doubt.
I don't
I
know.
don't think he sounds anything like Tom.
No, he didn't. And anybody screaming over Kerry King's riffs is gonna have some similarity.
Right.
It's gonna make you think, oh, this is what Tom would do. But
Exactly.
that's what a lot of thrash singers do nowadays. That's
Kind of is.
that's thrash metal. Like it's not like Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax days. Even Testament, who Chuck now sings heavier. It's not like that
Right.
anymore. They used to sing. Now they're not doing that. I mean, kinda, but they're not singing anymore like that.
Yeah.
This is
No, that's the truth.
so. What do you expect? And I
Right.
don't really know. Um, was it Death Angel?
Death Angel, yeah.
Don't really know them, so I mean, like, did he sing like that in that band?
Yes, he does.
So,
He sounds like the last fucking 3 to 5 Death Angel
so he
records.
didn't change his vocals.
No,
So
no.
then what's the problem?
Back in
Like
the 80s, he sounded different
a
because he
lot of guys.
sang more.
Yeah, but that was the style back then.
Right.
Yeah.
But now with the last like 3 to 5 Death Angel records, that's what fucking Mark sounds like.
So yeah, I don't have an issue with
Me
it.
neither. I
Yeah,
dig it.
I
I
like
dig it. For as divisive of an album as it is, I think it's fucking awesome.
I liked it enough to buy it. you know.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, that's usually what I'll do when something comes out. It's always on YouTube, but
Right.
I'm not going to drive around in my car or go outside with YouTube. If I like it, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, then I go, all right, well, I checked it out. It's not for me.
Right.
But I bought it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there you go.
I give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
So yeah, good job, Kerry King.
there you go.
I hope he kills it live. Apparently he's gonna be doing some fucking old Slayer songs and throwing those into the mix, which of course kind of
Yeah,
has to.
he doesn't have a long enough set probably with this
Yeah,
album.
right.
Maybe, yeah. But how long is the album? 40? I don't even know.
I'd say the album's 40 something minutes.
See if it has it on here.
Yeah,
No,
I can't tell by the cassette.
47 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you throw in a couple Slayer songs and you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He has to do Raining Blood. He has to.
I don't know. I feel like that one might be one that he goes, nah, I'm not doing that one.
Well, apparently he said he's doing Slayer songs, but only songs that he's written. And I don't have
Yeah, I don't know.
Rain and Blood right in front of me. So I can't see if that's a Kerry King song, but apparently he's just doing the songs that he wrote. So fair enough.
Yeah.
My only issue with this is the cover art is AI.
Well, well,
It's my only issue.
I mean, that's kind of where things are going, I guess.
I guess. I just think that that's a little like, there's a dude who would have done probably better than this, that would have done it for just the credits in the album cover. You know?
Yeah, but does Kerry King know those guys? You're talking much lower than what he would probably think of checking.
True.
And all,
Yeah, good
the
point.
guys that we use who are awesome, Kerry King's not going to know those guys, and he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't probably have people like local musicians in his life to go, oh, yo, check this guy out. He'll do it for $50. You know?
Right. Yeah. But then you got Mark in the band who fucking the Death Angel covers. I don't know if you could really see that with the glow.
The
No,
glare.
you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Maybe if I take it out of the case. Like the cover art's really fucking dope on the last few Death Angel records.
Looks painted.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure fucking Mark could have been like, dude, I got the guy. Like, he'll fucking do it.
Yeah, but how much of it is they're kind of along for the ride? It's not. It's not a band. It's Kerry
Good
King.
point.
You know.
Good point.
So
Yeah, it's his group.
they might not be jumping in with ideas.
True that.
But I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah.
called Kerry King, so
Right.
yeah.
It's like Ozzy. It's his band.
Yeah.
But that's literally my only issue. It's not a huge issue because
No.
I think the cover looks fucking sick. For AI art, it looks fucking great. I dig it.
Yeah. Cool.
So
they
there
have
it is. Good job, Kerry. Good fucking job. Great thrash metal. Love it.
they have it. You don't like it? Oh well. You know?
My dick if you don't like it. How about that?
Yeah.
All of it.
I don't know how you couldn't. So I guess let us know right below us if you like
Yeah.
it.
Blow us and tell us in the comments what do you think about the Kerry King record?
Yeah.
Especially Dave White. I hope you're watching.
He's not.
Scumbag. He's gonna watch. He's gonna watch. He can't help it.
You have this grudge with this dude already.
Can't help it. He can't help but watch. He's obsessed.
All right. Till next time. Deuce.